I've got 8 fake Kevin Durant trades coming at you. I'm Andrew Schlecht. This is Dave DuFour. First trade, Kevin Durant to the Portland Trailblazers in exchange for Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, Josh Hart, and 2 unprotected first rounders in 27 and 29. What do you think?
Wow, that's a haul.
It's all.
I gotta say, my brain goes to Rudy Gobert and the haul that they were able to get for him. And this is Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So I think that while that's a nice deal and might be the best deal that Portland could actually come up with, I would say no to that.
Yeah, I'm swinging for the fences. So we did these trades with Kyrie, and I'm like lowballing every single one because I thought the Nets did fantastic. But with Durant, like, you have to swing for the fences. It's got to be just insane. Okay, here's one that is swinging for the fences. Durant to the New Orleans Pelicans for Brandon Ingram, Dyson Daniels, and the 2024 Lakers first round pick.
Whoa.
This might be the best one.
We've got a
value
deal
for the Nets.
That's incredible. And when you look at it from the Nets perspective, they get a young budding star in Brandon Ingram. I mean, this guy is, an all-star level-ish player and a guy who can come in and be a focal point of an offense. Dyson Daniels, good young player who Jay King really loves. Yeah. And then, man, a shot at Wemby with that pick in particular.
Yeah.
While not sending Kevin Durant, you're sending him to, to the Pelicans, and not the Lakers. The Lakers don't have a lot of assets. They're not getting anybody. They didn't get Kyrie from you. So you're doubling down on hating on the Lakers. Now you get to root against them. It's a win-win for the fan base too.
I know. This might be my favorite one for the Nets. And then if you're the Pelicans, it's a big roll of the dice, because if Zion's healthy and you have Zion and KD in the West, that's like easily the best team in the Western Conference. You still have a good cast of characters around those guys. You have CJ McCollum, you still have Trey Murphy, you still have Herb Jones, and you have Jonas Valanciunas and Larry Nance. I mean, Jose Alvarado. You still have like a good team around them.
Yeah, and you can slide Kevin Durant into the Brandon Ingram role, which to me actually makes more sense with Zion. His ability to stretch the floor, and obviously his length as a shot blocker goes hand in hand with what Zion does. Man, I love it. That's the trade. Call it in.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, what about Kevin Durant and Patty Mills to the Suns, which has been rumored for a long time, the interest both ways. 4, Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, and 3 first rounders, 25, 27, 29.
I think that's a great trade too for the Nets. That's quite a bit for the Suns. And I actually think that the Suns probably would want to get Chris Paul involved in one of these moves and go ahead and get that money off their books.
I'm sure they would.
They're leaning that way.
If I'm Brooklyn, I'm saying no. And I'm also including an additional first round pick. This is the new owner tax. Okay.
Oh.
For new owner, they're going to get a little ambitious. You're going to get that. You're going to just squeeze one more pick out of that guy.
So this is what set the Gobert market. It's the new owner.
Oh, yeah. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
Splash. Yeah.
Nobody else gave up more than 2 picks.
Listen, I like that deal a lot for Brooklyn. And if you're adding Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton to a team that's got Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie, I mean, like, you're still going to do okay. You're not going to be a top 4 team in the East next season, but hey, man, that's a pretty fun basketball team that should defend okay. So between that and the draft assets, that's a good deal for Brooklyn. And for Phoenix, hey, that's taking a shot at a title.
Again, Kevin Durant to any Western Conference team, as long as they don't have to give up their first, their best player on their team.
Yeah.
You're giving that team a chance to win it all this year, without a doubt.
I mean, this guy was playing MVP basketball when he went down.
Yeah. Kevin Durant to the Sacramento Kings. Now, this is a stretch. This is probably my biggest stretch here. Keegan Murray, Davion Mitchell, then you have to include Rashawn Holmes and Harrison Barnes just for comedic purposes, just because Harrison Barnes and Kevin Durant cannot play on the same team ever. Just can't happen. And 2 first rounders for KD.
Wow, that's also a good trade. Man, you're good at this fake trade thing.
This is something that I've been doing for many years now, Dave DuFour.
Yeah.
Fake
now,
trades.
I would say this huge mistake for the Kings. The rest of their team just isn't good enough to be a title contender with just Kevin Durant. I wouldn't trust them defensively. I think they need a little bit more, but man, Brooklyn, they start the rebuild off
third in
right.
the West Kings, man. Third in the West Kings. I'm much more of a believer. And can you imagine the Kings minute on Buds?
Oh my
if
gosh.
something like this happened.
Yeah. Look, Jay King, I don't know if you've noticed, but he's sort of positioned himself to have a lot of guys and a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good space to be.
It's always winning. Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Durant to the Memphis Grizzlies. This one's kind of tough because of the money, like trying to cobble enough together and keep specifically Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant on the team, because those are the 2 I think that you want to keep to pair with KD. Because if you could play small with Jaren and Kevin Durant, like watch out.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty.
If those are your bigs that are spacing, I mean, unbelievable, unreal.
Yeah.
So the trade has to include Desmond Bane because this is Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Desmond
he's
Bane,
the 3rd best player on the Grizzlies. Like he has to go.
Yeah, he's got to go. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Tyus Jones, and your guy Danny Green, and 2 first rounders.
Might have to throw in Zaire Williams just to sweeten it a little bit, so I have a little bit of unknown quantity in there. But that's again, this when you're looking at it from Brooklyn's perspective, they're not going to win a title this year, most likely. Yeah. Even though I do like their team. And for you got to start thinking, all right, well, KD wanted out. Is he going to want out this summer? And you get a deal like that from Memphis, and this immediately makes them the favorite, I think, in the West, or at least they're right behind Denver.
Easily. Easily.
That's like totally plausible offer. And then Brooklyn, they get a fast restart on the rebuild. The picks obviously won't be as valuable because Memphis probably be pretty good for the next couple of years. But Kevin Durant, that's a pretty good haul. I mean, I love Desmond Bane. I don't know if he can be your best player, but I think he's definitely a great complementary piece. So you got a good start on, whatever you're going to do next when Brooklyn. And when you have ownership that has that kind of money, free agency, which may be dead, is alive again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one and the one from the Kings, I don't like quite as much from a player perspective, just because I don't think you're getting quite the juice.
Right.
And I know Desmond Bane is really good. I just don't know if that's exactly where I want to start a team. But moving on.
If Desmond Bane is your best player for a little while, you're fine. If he's your best player for 3 seasons, you're tanking.
Yeah, you're nowhere. Yeah, it's tough. Kevin Durant to the Nuggets for Jamal Murray, Bones Highland, Christian Brown, and a 29 first rounder.
Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Not Michael Porter Jr.
Not Michael Porter Jr. No.
That's interesting. Now, Jamal Murray and Bones Highland apparently don't get along. So shipping them out together, now you're just bringing in just a disaster for Brooklyn. But you get Jamal Murray. I mean, that's a star. That's a real star. And I think in any of these trades for Brooklyn, when we're thinking about their perspective, they should be thinking about getting a star back. I would even value that above a pick. And that's why I love that New Orleans trade so much, because they get a star and they get the big pick. And I mean, I think that's the best of both worlds, rather than just going for, okay, can I get 4 firsts and 4 swaps? Like that's sort of, you're peddling the future at that point, instead of trying to maybe reconstruct what you currently have on the fly and keep it rolling, and then pick up a couple of draft assets here and there. But yeah, I don't really love that for Brooklyn.
Yeah. Kevin Durant to the Raptors for Pascal Siakam, Chris Boucher, 2 unprotected first rounders in 27 and 29, and 2 pick swaps.
See, now that feels a bit like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic for Toronto, because the rest of that team is just not good enough. I don't think that it's a Kevin Durant away from being a title contender.
Yeah, they're Kevin Durant away from being in the playoffs.
Yes, yeah, but
Yeah,
not from
I'm with
being
you.
a title contender. And again, now, I'm saying this at my advanced age, but Kevin Durant is not exactly a basketball spring chicken at
Yeah,
this point. He's been injured since coming back from his major injury, like
he's injured
every
right
single
now.
season. He's hurt right now. And I think that, Pascal, that's an all NBA level player.
Yeah,
And so if you're Brooklyn, you probably like the deal. Pascal's younger. I mean, he's more versatile as far as a defender goes now. You can plug him into a lot of stuff. But man, for Toronto, I just don't think that they would do it. Because who's to say Kevin Durant would be there, for longer than one season? And
yeah,
what does that one season even look like? Is he playing 50 games?
yeah. It's a good question. It's
Yeah.
definitely a question worth asking.
I think if you're New Orleans, you're able to take that gamble because the upside, the payoff is a title.
Yeah,
And in Toronto, the upside is, oh, okay, well, we're the 5 seed and we're out in the first round.
and this is your best player in Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. If you could add Durant to Pascal, now
I think you could. I just don't
talking.
think that you'd want. I just don't think that you'd want to trade Scotty Barnes in a deal. Like it's just too soon to be dealing a player like that for a guy whose age is about to match what his number was in OKC, 35. He's going to turn 35 in September.
And Scotty Barnes' value is different than it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's different than it will be, 6 months from now.
Yep.
I think it's depressed right now, and it will go back up in the summer when everybody realizes that second-year players tend to have down years, especially when they expand their role. But, so if you're Toronto, you're getting less bang for your buck if you're moving off, Scotty Barnes right now. But Kevin Durant doesn't do enough if you're giving up Pascal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Kevin Durant to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown. You have to have a little bit more money here, so I'm throwing in Danilo Gallinari's contract, Peyton Pritchard, and then a 2025 unprotected first-round pick.
You throw in a 2027 swap, and I think I'd be pretty happy with that if I was Brooklyn. I mean, Jaylen Brown is, again, you're getting a star.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And for Boston, that might be a title. Jason Tatum and Kevin Durant with that defense, that's pretty potent. I mean, again, that's a good swing. I mean, potentially Brooklyn could ask for even more draft capital.
Yeah.
Because it really is a good swing. But Jaylen Brown is great.
Jaylen Brown's really good. If I'm Boston, I just don't do it. You already have the best net rating in the NBA. You just went to the NBA finals. You're going to have a good chance. The West is much worse than it was last year. The Warriors that was the team that beat you. Like, I'm picking Boston against most other teams in the Western Conference. I think that Warriors team was just very well equipped to deal with the Celtics. I don't know that everybody else is. I'm not doing this just because of age. Like, I would rather have this run go on for years and years and years. Like, if Durant gets hurt, which it's been happening.
He does every year.
And it's difficult. I think there is without a doubt, a talent upgrade. But the gap isn't as big as it is with all the rest of the players that we've listed. Like, Jaylen Brown is a phenomenal talent and at the perfect position for this era. Like, to have a big wing that can do everything that he does. I just don't know that I would be willing to part with him for this when you already have a chance at a title. Like the other teams, like Blazers, Pelicans, Suns, like I'm just like, I don't believe in them anyways. Right. So like, give me a real swing. The Celtics are going to get a real swing. So that's why I'm just like, that's why I only put one pick in there. It's like, yeah, we kind of want to do this. We kind of want this trade to happen, but not really. So
I'm with you. The injury concerns are real. And I like, it's something that when we're talking about potential KD trades or, if he gets traded, it's something that should come up. it should be maybe the first thing that comes up. His availability has been limited.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Which trade would you do? Let us know in the comments and stay locked into The Athletic.